Alright, good morning pre-calculus class. I hope you guys had a fantastic afternoon yesterday, and I hope you did really well on your homework assignment last night. I hope everything just kind of solidified in your brain and you did good. So today we're going to move to the second part, which can be a little more complicated than the first part. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this and see how you guys do. Alright, so for today you're going to need some paper, pencil, those 6 trig ratios from yesterday. You're going to need a scientific calculator, and again, you can access a free one online through calculator.net. And then you're going to need to access your homework 59, which would be an online homework assignment through Math Excel for school. So make sure you have access to that as well. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and move this out. We're going to go ahead and get started with our lesson. So what we're going to do today is talking about what we're going to need if we're trying to find different components of a right triangle. So if we're going to try to find a missing side, what will we need if we're going to try to find a missing side? So if we're going to try to find a missing side, we'll need to use our sine, our cosine, and our tangent ratios. So remember from yesterday that our sine ratio is equal to little a over little c, and it's equal to, the cosine is equal to little b over little c, and the tangent is going to be equal to little a over little b. And this is all going to be based upon the fact that we start at big angle A. So as long as we're starting at big angle A, these are our ratios. That means as long as we say theta is the value of big A. So wherever A is located, that's where our theta goes. And that will help us keep these ratios intact. If we, though, are trying to find a missing angle, let's write that down. Find a missing angle. That means if we know the sides, but we don't know any of the angles other than the right angle. That means we know all 3 sides. We know little a, little b, little c, but we don't know angle A and we don't know angle B. Then we would use the ratios for arc sine, arc cosine, and then arc tan. This would hold true if we are know all 3 sides and we don't know any of the angles. So as long as you know one angle, either A or B, we can quickly identify the other, because we're going to make a note of that. So let's make a little star, star, star. That angle A plus angle B and any right triangle will be equal to 90 degrees. And we learned this yesterday, that these kinds of angles that add up to 90 degrees are called complementary angles. Alright, so we're going to start out giving us a little picture, and we're going to give some information of what we know and what they want us to find, and then we're going to go from there. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and just give ourselves a picture of a right triangle. This would be angle A up here. This would be angle B. This would be little c. This would be little b. And this would be little a. Alright, so remember that I told you that wherever big A is, this represents our theta. So we learned yesterday that directly across from big A is little a, which is our opposite leg. We also learned that directly across from big B is little b, and that is our adjacent leg. And we also learned that directly across from the right angle is always our hypotenuse, which is little c. Alright, so I got these kind of labeled. So I'm going to move this paper up a smidge, and we'll have to come back and forth, I think. I think I might be able to keep that in view for a little while. Alright. So to start off, they're going to tell us two things. They'll tell you two components of your triangle, and then you're going to go find the remaining three parts. So they're going to start off by telling us that little b is equal to 5, and that big B is going to be equal to 20 degrees. So they're going to want you to go find the three remaining parts. The one part you'll never have to find is this 90-degree angle because that is given to us. But the other parts, if they tell me big B and little b, the other three parts are little a, little c, and big A. So we got to go find the value of little a, the value of little c, that's the two remaining sides, and angle A. So now we're going to use our knowledge from up above here, where we said that angle A plus angle B is equal to 90 degrees. So if B is 20, we're saying what plus 20 equals 90. So how can we do a quick way of finding that? That's correct, Alexa. We could just do 90 minus 20. So what is 90 minus 20? That's correct, 70 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and put 70 degrees up here because big A is equal to 70 degrees. Fantastic. All right, so now I really don't need to label little b because, again, everything that we do is going to be based off that big A. So our ratio up above said that the sine of big A is equal to little a over little c. It says that the cosine of big A is equal to little b over little c. And that the tangent of big A is equal to little a over little b. Alright, so now, noticing that we need to find little a and little c, I can't have two unknowns in my ratio. I can know an angle and know a side. I can know two sides and find an angle, but I cannot have two unknowns here and only one over here. So I don't know either A or C. So I can't use the sine information because there is not enough information. Any I, not enough information to use him. So we're going to go ahead and make our way over to this cosine. So we're going to go ahead and replace the cosine of A with its measure of the angle, which is 70 degrees. Little b, which is 5, over little c, which we do not know, we're trying to find. So last year or the year before in geometry, when we guys were dealing with geometry, I taught you guys that when the variable is in the denominator, we divide, and when the variable is in the numerator, we multiply. So looking at this fraction, 5 over c, is my variable c in the numerator position right now, or is it in the denominator position? That's right, Jaden, it's in the denominator. So since my variable is in the denominator position, to find the value of that, I divide. I take the side, 5, and I divide it by the trig ratio, which is the cosine of 70 degrees. So you're going to have to figure out how your calculator works on inputting this. You might have to find this value first and say 5 divided by that, but you cannot do cosine 70 divided by 5. That is not the same thing as 5 divided by the cosine of 70. Think about it in real numbers. 6 divided by 2 is 3, but 3 divided by 6 is not 2. So make sure that you put them in the correct order for division. So we're going to go ahead and put in our calculators and make sure you are in degree mode. Make sure you click on the degree mode. So we're going to do 5 divided by the cosine of 70. And we're going to round this to the nearest tenth, so 1 decimal place. This will give us 14.6. I'm going to go up here and say that little c is equal to 14.6. Now when you go online, they may tell you to round to 1 decimal place, 2 decimal places to the nearest tenth or hundredth. So make sure you read how they want you to round. Alright, so we're going to move here. We know little b, and so we can go find little a, and we know big A. So I know 2 of the 3. You have to know 2 out of the 3 to use that ratio. If we don't know 2 out of the 3, we can't use that ratio. So that the tangent, big A, is 70 degrees. And it's going to be equal to little a, which I don't know, over little b, which is 5. So this time, K. Curry, my variable is a. And is a located in the numerator or is a located in the denominator? You're correct. It's located in the numerator. So if the variable is located in the numerator, we multiply. So little a equals the side length, which is 5, times the trig ratio, which is the tangent of 70 degrees. So I'll put this in my calculator. Again, multiplication order doesn't matter, but division it does. So I just try to get you in the habit of putting the side first, followed by the trig ratio second. So 5 times the tangent of 70. We'll round this to 1 decimal place. We'll get 13.7. So little a is equal to 13.7. All right, so we're going to go ahead and make our way down and try another problem real fast. So we're going to bring this back down. We're going to find a missing side again because I think you need to stay in that vein for a little bit before we move on. All right, so we'll go ahead and draw us another picture again. Same one. It's going to go the exact same way and everything. So this would be our big A up here, our big B down here. Little a, little b, little c. Okay, we're going to go ahead and label. This is our opposite. This is our adjacent. This is our hypotenuse. And angle A represents our theta. So it's going to represent theta. All right, so they're going to give us a couple things of what we already know. All right, we're going to start out by saying we know the value of little a. Little a is going to be equal to 6. Angle B is going to be equal to 40 degrees. And this time they want us to find the remaining parts. So if we know side little a, that means they want you to find side little b and side little c. If they give you big B, they want you to find big A. So remember from yesterday, we learned that our angles A plus B, and even just a few minutes ago, A plus B equals 90 degrees. So Jolene, 40 plus what is 90? So what's the complementary angle to 40 degrees? You're correct. That is 50 degrees. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put angle A as 50 degrees. So that's my theta. Theta is 50. So we go ahead and write my 3 ratios of what I know. I know the sine of angle A is equal to little a over little c. I know that the cosine of angle A is equal to little b over little c. And I know that the tangent of angle A is equal to little a over little b. All right, so remember I told you in order to use the trig ratio, we must know 2 out of the 3. Well, we know 1 of all of them, the tangent. We know the angle A is 50, so I know 1, 1, 1. So now I have to know 1 other component. So on the sine one, I know that the angle value for A is equal to 50. I know little a is 6, and I got to go find little c. So I know 2 of the 3. I know big A, little a. So I'm going to replace big A with 50. And I'm going to replace little a with 6. And I'm going to go find little c. All right, so here we go. So now, if my variable is located in the where, Jenna, where's my variable located? Correct, it's in the denominator. So when it's in the denominator, do I multiply or divide, Brianna? Correct, I divide. So my little c will equal to my side length, which is c, divided by the sine of 50 degrees. So I'll put in my calculator 6 divided by the sine of 50, and I'm going to round this to the nearest tenth. So little c will be equal to 7.8. So I'm going to go ahead and put little c, 7.8. As I move over, I know big A, but I do not know little b or little c from the original pieces of information, from the originals. I don't know little b or little c. So there is not enough information for me to use this one. Even though I currently found little c to be 7.8, this is a rounded value. So we don't want to use this unless we have no other option but to do so. All right, so here we know big A and little a. So since we know big A and little a, we're going to go ahead and use those. So the tangent of 50 degrees is equal to little a, which is 6, over little b, which I do not know. So using this knowledge from a second ago, Abby, what would I do? Correct, I would divide. So what will I divide e by? Correct, 6 divided by the tangent of 50. So put that in your calculator, 6 divided by the tangent of 50, round it to the nearest tenth. So b is equal to 5.0. And I'm putting 5.0 because that means it's rounded. It wasn't exactly 5 on the button. It's 5.0. All right, so we're going to do another butter. So we go ahead and pull this page up. and brighten this up so we get the whole screen. So we want to make sure we get the rest of this guide. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and draw this triangle again. And this time I'm just going to label them A, B, C, big A, big B, little B, and little c. And then I'll go ahead and denote that our angle A up here is equal to theta. All right, so that's our theta. All right, so this time they're going to tell us a few things. They're going to tell us that little c is equal to 9. They're going to tell us that angle B is equal to 20 degrees. And they want us to find the two missing sides and the missing angle. So since I know little c, they want me to find little a and little b. And since I know angle B, they want me to find angle A. So which one should we find first, Maddie B? That's correct. I need to know angle A. And how do I find angle A, Maddie B? Correct. It is complementary to angle B. So what would be the complementary angle to angle B, Jair? That's right. It would be 70 degrees. Okay, so now I got my 70 degrees in here. All right, so I'm going to write my three ratios. Sine of A equals little a over little c. Cosine of A is equal to little b over little c. And the tangent of big A is equal to little a over little b. All right, so this time I know big A, big B, and little c. So I know big A and little c. So big A, little c, I can use this one. Big A, little c, I can use this one. Big A, ooh, there's no little c. So this one has not enough information. So therefore, I'm going to use these two formulas since I know big A and little c. So big A is 70 degrees. Little a I do not know, but little c is 9. Now, Zach, is my variable located in the numerator or the denominator? That's correct. The variable is located in the numerator. So, Seth, if it's in the numerator, what must I do? Correct. Multiply. So, Connor, what do I multiply to get this little a? Correct. 9 times the sine of 70. So, I put that in my calculator and then round to the nearest tenth. So, 9 times the sine of 70. Round to the nearest tenth, I will get 8.5. So little a is equal to 8.5. So I'm going to do the cosine now. So the cosine, A is 70 degrees. Little b I do not know, but little c is 9. So is my variable in the numerator or the denominator, K. Curry? Correct, it's in the numerator. All right, so Mumu, what do I do? That's right, I multiply. So, Katravity, what do I multiply together? That's right, 9 times the cosine of 70. So, I put that in my calculator, 9 times the cosine of 70, and then I'll round it to the nearest tenth, and I'll get 3.1. So, my little b value is equal to 3.1. All right, so I hope you guys are doing okay so far and everything is sinking in. All right, so we're going to go ahead and bring this back down, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the next component, which is talking about story problems. So in a story problem, they're going to tell you a story and they're going to give you a picture of a triangle. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the picture. We're going to do 3 story problems that they give us. And I'm going to kind of draw out the pictures that you would see in these story problems since you guys really can't see them. And hopefully this will help you guys out. Alright, for this story problem, we're talking about a gorge that is taking place somewhere out in the world somewhere. There's a gorge. Alright, so in this gorge, they're saying that this point right here is point A, and this point down here is point C, and they're saying that this point down here is point B. So now they're going to, if this is at C, C is always located at the right angle. And in your pictures, you should be able to quickly identify where the right angle is and what it looks like. So they're also going to tell me that from C all the way to B is 100 feet. That's a 100-foot distance. So if I measure the distance from B to C, that's 100 feet. They're also going to tell me that the measure of angle B is 35 degrees. So they're asking me to find the distance from point A to point C across the gorge. So they want me to find this distance. So first, if I label everything, so I'm going to take my other color and label. Across from big A is little a. Across from big B is little b. And across from the right angle is little c. Alright, so what they have told me is now I know what little a is. It's 100. And I know what little b is. I don't know what little b is. I got to go find it. But remember from this minute ago when we were just working the problems that I told you that we're going to use angle A as our theta. So in order for all of our ratios to work properly. So we got to first go find the value of this angle right here. So that means angle A and angle B are complementary angles. So what is 90 minus 35, Jenna? That's correct. It is 55 degrees. All right, so now we look at our ratios. We've got tangent. We've got the sine of A is equal to little a over little c. And we've got the cosine of big A is equal to little b over little c. And we have the tangent of big A is equal to little a over little b. So currently we know big A, 55, and little a, 100. So big A, little a, I know big A, little a. That helps me out to find C, but I don't need to find C. I am trying to find B only for this story problem. So this doesn't have big A and little a. Can't use it. This one has not enough information. And this one has big A and little a and trying to find little b. This is the right one. So this is fine. This solves for the wrong variable. Solves for wrong variable. Making some notations for you. But this one we'll be solving for the right variable because we know big A, we know little a, and we're trying to find little b. So tangent of big A, which is 55 degrees, equals little a of 100 over little b, which we do not know. All right, so checking this out, Antonella, where is our variable located? That's correct, it's in the denominator. So Anto, if the variable is in the denominator, what do we do? Correct, we divide. So to find the value of little b, what will I divide, Anto? That's correct, 100 divided by the tangent of 55. So to put in my calculator, 100 divided by tan 55. And I'm going to round this to 2 decimal places because they're going to be specific in these directions. They want you to round to 2 decimal places. So if I round to 2, 70.02, and these are feet. So we're dealing with feet. And again, they'll give you this portion. You'll just have to fill in the 70.02. All right, that's our first example of a story problem that they'll give you. All right, the next story problem, again, all of these are going to give you a picture. So you'll have a picture, you'll just need to label it. On the next picture, don't be laughing at my drawings because you guys, I'm not an artiste. Reese and Bell, will y'all stop? Okay. Sorry. Alright, this is going to be our Eiffel Tower. So don't be hating. Your teacher ain't no artiste. There's our Eiffel Tower. And they're going to give you a picture here, and they're going to tell you some information about our Eiffel Tower. So they're going to tell us that it's the tallest tower that was built before the era of having televisions. Before televisions came out, they had these little tall masts that would come to the top of the tower and be like, oh, it makes it even taller, we can cast out bigger signal. So this was built in March 31st of 1889. They want you to find the height of the Eiffel Tower. So they're going to draw you a picture right here and draw you a blue line right through here, and that's the height of the Eiffel Tower that they're trying to say, hey, we don't know. And they're going to say, using the given information and the illustration. So the illustration is going to give you some information right here. It's going to say that this distance right here is 80 feet. And dot, 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 dot. Okay, and they're going to say that this dot, 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 that this angle measurement right in here is going to be equal to 85.361 degrees. So since nothing's labeled A, B, or C, we're going to take advantage of that and say this is angle A. So that's going to help us out a whole lot. So then you're going to have to go in and label this part and say that's angle B. So now they want us to find the height. It's how tall. They want us to find this unknown value right here. So we know the opposite of big A is little a. So that X is actually representing little a. And across from big B is little b. So that means our 80 feet is represented by little b. So go ahead and write our three ratios. We've got the sine of big A is equal to little a over little c. The cosine of big A is equal to little b over little c. And the tangent of big A is equal to little a over little b. So currently I know big A and little b. Nope. Yep. Big A, little b. This is the one I want to use. So cosine of big A, which is 85.361 degrees. Little b. Oh, I don't want to find little c. So do I really want to use him? Nope, we don't. That's work I don't need to do. Now big A, little b. I can plug him in. So the tangent of big A, 85.361 degrees. Little a, I do not know. And little b is 80. So this one will work for us because I'm trying to find little a. That's exactly what I'm searching for. So if my variable is in the top, what do I do, Katrevany? That's right, I multiply. So what do I multiply, Lexi? Yes, I'll multiply the side length, which is 80, times the tangent of 85.361. Even though that's a big number like that, you're still going to just put it in like that. Don't do anything different. So 80 times your tangent of 85.361, and then you're going to round this value to 2 decimal places. 2 decimal places. So when we do, we get 985.91. And again, this is feet. And they'll give you this, and you'll need to put this value in right here. They'll give you the feet. You'll need to put the value in. All right, so we're going to do one more problem. I think, or I might just leave you guys right there because the other one is just the exact same as this one. I think we're good to go. All right, so this is all we're going to do. This is what your story problems will look like. They'll give you a picture. I'll bring this down. They're going to give you a picture, and then they're going to ask you information of what you need to solve for. So again, if you need to draw them out, this would be very beneficial to draw your picture that you see on your paper, or just draw a right triangle so you can label them A, B, and C. All right, so you guys have a fantastic day, and I hope you guys do well, and good night.